From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
And good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on the Noon News. I'm Andrea Lutz. This afternoon, we're learning more about how Montana is outperforming most states when it comes to administering the COVID-19 vaccine. We ranked 16th in the country. That's because officials say nearly 5% of Montanans, or 52,000 people, are now fully vaccinated. But Montana lags behind in the amount of shots coming from the federal government. Governor Greg Gianforte is calling on President Biden to increase the state's supplies. Spots are filling up fast as Yellowstone County begins its largest vaccination effort with a 3-day clinic at Metro Park. Just over 300 appointments still available as of this morning, with 40 healthcare workers from both Billings Clinic and St. Vincent administering 2,200 shots. Officials say they can provide over 8,000 shots per week at the clinic once the supply matches demand. If you fall into either phase 1A or 1B, you can register for an appointment at mtreadyclinic.org. COVID-19 vaccine makers are working to tweak recipes to account for virus variants. Regulators are looking to the flu as a blueprint for the changes. Health experts say viruses mutate constantly, but it takes the right combination to totally escape a vaccine. And research has shown COVID vaccines haven't worked as well against a variant, but it's not completely ineffective. The good news is many of the COVID-19 vaccines are made with technology easy to upgrade. A historic snowfall in Texas, leaving millions without power, claiming more lives. Over 4 million people have lost power in Texas. More than 14 inches of snow fell on parts of the state, and southern states are reporting 4 additional deaths, including Tennessee, Louisiana, and Kentucky. That adds to the 6 people who died in Texas from an icy road pileup. Forecasters say the storm will continue today. After a deadly weekend for avalanche activity in Montana, experts are issuing a word to the wise. The mountains around Bozeman, Big Sky, and West Yellowstone received an additional 8 to 20 inches of new snow in the last 48 hours, according to avalanche officials. They say those in the backcountry should be careful of snowpack, cautious of route finding, and make conservative decisions. An avalanche in Beehive Basin has claimed the life of a Bozeman elementary school principal over the weekend, too. And just in the first few months of the year, the U.S. has hit its annual average for avalanche deaths. More people getting outside this winter mixed with poor snowpack is creating some tragic results. At least 25 people have died so far, and avalanche forecasters say they rarely see the dangerous high as it is now. And it is expected to get worse in the Rocky Mountains. Of course, we're always thinking about our weather and how it's constantly changing. We're joined now with Miller Robson for a look at that Montana forecast.
Well, we're lucky. We're starting to warm up here in Montana and northern Wyoming. Good afternoon, everyone. Let's take a look at the radar right now, Doppler radar, where you can still see some steady snow falling in Yellowstone County. Some snow up there in Missoula, especially in the higher elevations, especially south, and a little bit of snow around Great Falls. Let's go ahead and give you some totals that we've had. And this is as of this morning. We're going to add to these as we go along. 5 inches in Victor, also 4.5 inches near Finley Point. Ovando, 2.7 inches, and just over 1.5 inches in Weeksville. So again, we're going to try to add to that as we go along today. But here's a big story. We are warming up. It's been a long time since I could say that, and we're going to continue to do that over the course of the next few days, and hopefully a good portion of the viewing area above the freezing mark by the time we get to the weekend. We'll take a look with the main forecast coming up. Andrew.
All right, Miller, thank you. Well, the bodies of 2 men believed to be dead after falling through the ice of the Marias River in Toole County could be recovered today. The men were reported missing after tracks were found leading to the open water. And their UTV has since been found in the water, but their bodies have not been found. Well, now that the weather is warming up, officials say the recovery will likely start back up.
It just comes down to crime scene factor that, yeah, this is a tragic accident, but even accidents on land are investigated as crime scenes.
And the Flathead and Cascade County Sheriff's Offices will be helping Toole County with that recovery. Well, at the Montana Legislature, a new bill to prevent local governments from requiring affordable housing is up for discussion. Both Whitefish and Bozeman have implemented what's called inclusionary zoning. The law requires new developments to include a specific percentage of homes for low or moderate income buyers. The proposed House bill would block that law. Supporters say they believe there is a need for affordable housing in Montana, but argues it does discourage new construction.
It doesn't deny a tool to address affordable housing. It takes away a weapon that has been proven damaging across the country and in those few locations that have already attempted to use it here in Montana.
So opponents do say that local elected officials are the most qualified to address affordable housing in their own communities. All right, a new study shows scammers continue to target people looking for love online. The Federal Trade Commission says romance scams rose 31% last year compared to 2019. They say victims reported losing more than $300 million, which is a 51% jump from 2019. People should always be aware of who online they are talking to. Anyone who insists on some kind of money and then comes up with a reason to never meet, that's suspicious. The pandemic made it easier for scammers because of social distancing and because people are too trusting for looking for a partner. All right, so Missoula is moving forward with that new neighborhood center located at Lowell Elementary School. The vision started in 2019 when the principal started to realize her students weren't getting opportunities outside of school. So Missoula Parks and Rec, the food bank, and others jumped on board to help make that vision a reality. In recent weeks, Missoula County Public Schools officials gave their approval for the center, but the city committed $100,000 of funding to do so.
Ed opportunities, craft and cooking classes, nutrition classes, parenting classes. We want to have open gyms so that our kids can come in and have a safe place to play.
And the Missoula City Council will vote on the final approval for the Lowell School Neighborhood Center. That's going to happen next Monday. So Evergreen Fire has some new emergency medical equipment thanks to a generous donation. The Betty Woods Foundation donated the money for new jump bags. The bags contain advanced life support equipment, oxygen, and medications, and officials were able to purchase 5 of them for each ambulance and fire engine. Jump bags are the first line of defense for treating a patient. All right, and also we want to let you know that Evergreen Fire and Rescue is a combination fire department. It consists of 12 full-time staff members, and they also have volunteers, so that donation is really needed. We do have more ahead on the new news today, including how the Butte community is helping to get an out-of-state family reunited with their lost dog. But first, Miller's back in with a look at that statewide weather forecast.